Our news is brought to you by Alive.
Coming up tonight, Bella Walker's mother and her boyfriend denied bail. An autopsy reveals disturbing details of the 4-year-old's injuries. Marco's alert to be tested on Monday, and tourist bookings hit historically high levels. Welcome to our news, and thanks for joining us. I'm Christina Dragovich. Topping news tonight, the mother of Deonia Bella Walker and her boyfriend were denied bail following their arraignment in the magistrate's court today. With his wrist bandaged, a stoic Darian Smith stood before Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson to answer to the charges of murder and cruelty to children. Smith is accused of killing Walker on Friday, November 5th, and unlawfully abusing her in a manner causing her unnecessary suffering and injury. According to police reports, Walker was taken to hospital on Friday with multiple injuries. Her mother, Austania Walker, was charged with exposing a child to grievous harm and cruelty to children. The couple was not required to enter a plea to the charges. They were remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections until December 17th. The Chief Magistrate set an early court date due to national concern over this matter. She said, "I would wish for it to have a December date with a view that the matter might be fast-tracked in view of the nature and seriousness of the charges." Meanwhile, National Security Minister Wayne Munro providing disturbing details revealed during an autopsy on 4-year-old Bella Walker. Berthany McDermott reports.
From the autopsy, the young child was subject to blunt force trauma sufficient to break ribs that punctured internal organs and caused massive bleeding.
National Security Minister Wayne Munro shared the autopsy results during a press briefing at the office of the Prime Minister. Even more shocking was the revelation that this wasn't the first time the 4-year-old suffered physical abuse.
Exercising some care because the matter will be headed to a judicial body, there was some indication of previous injuries.
Well, the tragic death of 4-year-old Bella Walker prompting many to call for changes to the Child Protection Act or even stiffer penalties for perpetrators. This as the family of the 4-year-old is calling for Bella's law. Will we put those questions to National Security Minister Wayne Munro this morning?
The penalty for murder in this country is still death. Potentially. I don't know that you could get a stiffer penalty than that. And so I don't believe in knee-jerk reactions. If you want something to change, what you would do is you would articulate, we think there is this weakness. So we think the penalty for killing a child is not sufficiently severe. And then the answer will be, well, the penalty, if it's an appropriate case, is death. How more severe a penalty would you like?
Her tragic death ignited public outrage as many are demanding justice. Police confirmed that Bella suffered blunt force trauma, but Munro previously said there was no indication of sexual assault. Those comments sparking outrage as residents took to social media, suggesting attempts are being made to cover up the true cause of death. The minister hit back.
Why we have to have the indignity of a sexual assault combined with that for us to be outraged is what makes me truly upset with Bahamian people who it's almost as if they desired that she undergo that indignity as well. Some people believe or seem to think that our sense of outrage should be any less because a child who was subjected to great violence was not also sexually abused. That is a sick mindset that we really need to get out of this country.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Bella Walker's father was standing on the outside of the magistrate's court today as her mother and her boyfriend were charged in connection with the child's death. He spoke briefly with Jillian Gray.
Visibly shaken, Dino Smith says he wants justice for his daughter, 4-year-old Bella Walker.
I didn't want justice for her, you know what I mean?
According to police, Walker died on Friday as a result of blunt force trauma. Family members in recent days have described the young girl as loving, caring, intelligent, with a bright future. Bella lived with Smith's family in Freeport until August of this year, when she was sent to New Providence to be with her mother. Smith says when he receives his daughter's remains, he'll take her back to Freeport for the funeral.
Just one girl, anyone bury her, you know? And care about Freeport and marry her. That's why she's happy, you see.
Smith and a few of his family members arrived to court moments after Bella's mother and her boyfriend were arraigned in connection with her death.
I got nothing to say to that.
Smith and his family have received a tremendous outpouring of love since Bella's passing. He is heartbroken but appreciative.
I love them and thanks for the support, you know what I mean? Really appreciate it.
Reporting for our news, I'm Jillian Gray.
In other news, the National Security Minister providing an update on the Marco Alert system and the Sex Offenders Registry. Monroe says the alert will be tested over the Alive system on Monday, adding BTC had a long time to get it done.
But BTC has completely and utterly dropped the ball. They do not have the ability for the alerts to be sent out over their system. If they do not remedy it, it will certainly be my suggestion that anybody who wants to participate in Marco's alert will have to make a choice as to their mobile phone provider. I would challenge BTC not to cause me to tell people to port over to Alive in order to make Marco's alert works.
The test will determine the ability to broadcast a child abduction over the cellular system. Monroe says he hopes it never has to be used, but it is a useful tool. As for the Sexual Offenders Registry, Monroe says one individual who has been released is currently on the register, and a few others are currently in prison.
So having brought the law into place on the 27th of July 2019, the previous administration did nothing to notify the public in accordance with the Act. I will be considering, together with the Office of the Attorney General, what ability we have to deal with the persons who would have been released from the 27th of July 2019 to date.
The National Security Minister says the Sex Offender Registry is ready to go, but there are some staffing concerns. He also hit back at critics who suggested he would not put effort into the rollout after he questioned the efficacy of the register.
I would say that's an incredibly stupid person. And that would be an incredibly stupid person who would believe that anybody thinks they're immune to crime. Somehow that would be a stupid person who would think that I think either of my two daughters, any of my children, are immune to crime. We need to get out of that stupid way of thinking.
Shifting gears now, the Bahamas is open for business, according to Prime Minister Philip Davis, who says tourist bookings for the next quarter are at historically high levels. He attributes the optimistic outlook to declining COVID-19 cases in the country. Jasmine Brown reports.
The Prime Minister made his case to those investors, insisting the economy is on the rebound, as he says the tourism product has a lot to do with the rebound.
I'm happy to report that the Bahamas is now on course to experience a rapid rebound in tourist arrivals to pre-pandemic levels, meaning that we should soon recover our position as a premier destination for business and leisure travelers. The climate for investment and tourism continue to improve every day.
Davis gave the keynote address at the Caribbean Hotel Investment Conference and Operations Summit held at Bahama Resort.
We are committed to taking all necessary steps to improve the ease of doing business and to ensure that investment projects are no longer unnecessarily delayed by red tape. These enhancements will support a superior tourist model that harnesses our capacity for the development of culture, heritage, sports, religion, ecotourism, and medical tourism.
The Prime Minister insisted the government's decision to get rid of the state of emergency shows that the Bahamas is safely and wisely opening for business.
This weekend, the state of emergency imposed by the previous administration will expire, along with the emergency orders that accompanied it. All health guidelines, protocols, and preventative measures will then be governed by what we call the normal health legislation for the management of COVID-19.
Davis added the new Nassau cruise port, which is scheduled for completion by summer, is also expected to bring record tourist numbers.
This past summer, several cruise lines led the return of cruising to the Bahamas by introducing home porting from New Providence and Bimini. This has heralded the return of the many cruise lines which originate in the United States, including Carnival, Celebrity Cruises, Disney, MSC, Norwegian, Royal Caribbean, and Virgin. This demonstrates not just confidence in the fact that the pandemic is increasingly under control, but the return of confidence in the Bahamas as a premier cruise destination.
Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown.
When the clock strikes midnight on Saturday, the curfew will be no more. This as the state of emergency ends to be replaced with new COVID rules.
Well, it comes into play on Saturday is when it expires. Saturday the 13th when it expires. So at midnight on Saturday night, going into Sunday morning, the curfew will fall away, and we will be governed by laws that we have in place.
Cloudy conditions outside our studios. Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center with the latest.
Thanks, Christina, and welcome everybody for this first look at weather on this wet Thursday evening. Outside our studios, we have mostly cloudy skies. Some showers around still out there. The winds are out of the east at 6 knots. Temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. And of course, those feels like temperature also feeling like the mid to upper 70s. Satellite view, abundant moisture coming across our area from Cuba and out of the Caribbean. Showers and thunderstorms across the northwest and central Bahamas. The southeast a little clear, but we do expect more showers ahead of a front. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. Your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on our news, a candlelight vigil held in Bella Walker's honor, and the PM promises healthcare upgrades on the Family Islands. Find out more after this.
Reliable home Wi-Fi makes life easier, but when your coverage is spotty, it's frustrating. In some cases, your service may not be the issue. Here are 3 things to consider when dealing with spotty Wi-Fi. 1. The age of your device. If you're having trouble keeping devices connected, or if they're running slowly, it could be time for an upgrade. Older devices can slow down your network. To get the best out of your speeds, keep your devices and software up to date. 2. Your gateway settings. Your Rev modem or device broadcasts 2 signals, one at 2.4 GHz, which provides the most coverage, and one at 5 GHz, which delivers faster speeds. Choose the best connection to get the full benefit of both signals to reduce connectivity issues. 3. The size and construction of your home. If your home is large or has concrete walls, it could be affecting your Wi-Fi. If that's the case, an Aero Wi-Fi mesh from Rev may help extend your Wi-Fi signal throughout your home and eliminate some of the dead spots. At Rev, we aim to keep you connected to the things you love most. Rev, you and us, together.
After being suspended during the pandemic, long overdue local government elections will be held in the first quarter of 2022, according to Attorney General Ryan Pinder. He says if the country can hold a general election during the pandemic, it can certainly hold local government and school board elections.
As many in the Family Islands would know, and throughout the country, local government elections, have been suspended beyond the period of time permitted in the Local Government Act, and the same for the school board elections. We seek to continue this in a transition period of 90 days to allow for the proper and orderly conducting of these elections.
Pinder says the government will also ensure the payment of NIB benefits is not interrupted. During the state of emergency, NIB used payment service providers to make payments electronically, which Pinder says is in contravention of the Data Protection Act.
Because NIB is sharing individual data with third parties without their explicit consent. We certainly think it is imperative, Madam President, that we do not interrupt the payment of support benefits to Bahamians who need it most. In that vein, this bill seeks to extend for a 3-month period the ability to NIB to continue paying in this fashion. Madam President, NIB will have 3 months to find a viable solution to electronic payments of benefits to the Bahamian people.
Well, a somber mood in Major Subdivision last evening as residents gathered for a candlelight vigil in honor of Bella Walker. Over on Grand Bahama, where the little girl's paternal family lives, dozens of people took to the streets and demanded justice. Bethany McDermott reports.
A candlelight vigil being held in the Centerville community where residents gathered, all offering up prayers for baby Bella and her family. Present, a number of cabinet ministers who all committed to legislative change to protect children from incidents like these.
Being a parliamentarian, being a mother of daughters, being a Bahamian citizen, being someone with a heart, I definitely would advocate for it. But now I'm not only in a position to advocate for it, but to be in a position where I can make it happen.
We will definitely be taking a look at it to ensure that perpetrators of these type of offenses know that this government is serious about protecting the vulnerable in our society.
Police confirmed on Tuesday night that the 4-year-old died as a result of blunt force trauma to the body, which resulted in multiple fractures. Those who knew the little girl or were moved by the tragedy gathered outside her home in Major Subdivision last night.
Just to let them know that they're not in this alone, and this is such a sad occasion. So we just want to come as just for healing in this community to show love.
It just touched my heart to see the trauma that Bella would have suffered, and so it just laid on my heart for me to come and show my support. And I do think more needs to be done to protect our children in this country.
Over on Grand Bahama, dozens of residents marched from Coral Road to Independence Park demanding justice for Bella.
Justice for Bella! We're marching for her! We're marching for her! We're marching for her! We're marching for her!
Following the tragedy that has sparked national outrage, Pastor Robert Lockhart says they felt compelled to come out and make their voices heard.
We're here today to make sure, in the name of Bella, that not another little Bahamian girl, another little Bahamian boy would face the tragedy that she faced.
Residents of all ages wore pink in Bella's honor and demanded that something be done to ensure this never happens to another child.
You know that if daddy and your mommy, and daddy and your daddy, and somebody touch you, even if they touch you the way they ain't supposed to touch you, tell somebody. If somebody touch you on your buttocks, tell somebody. That's right. All of you know where your private is. If somebody touch you there, tell somebody.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Bethany McDermott.
Prime Minister Philip Davis renewing his administration's commitment to improving healthcare infrastructure throughout the country. He noted plans to build new hospitals on New Providence and Grand Bahama through public-private partnerships, adding Family Island upgrades are also on the way.
We have therefore committed to build new hospitals in New Providence and Grand Bahama through public-private partnerships, with simultaneously improving the conditions at our main facility, the Princess Margaret Hospital. We will make major investments in developing and improving our many hospitals in Abaco and Exuma and Eleuthera, and construct new satellite clinics and refurbish existing ones with telemedicine capacity for other Family Islands.
Davis says proper health care on all islands is key to getting the country through the COVID-19 pandemic.
It's now time for tonight's Financial Market Minute, brought to you by RF, your local investment bank. This has been your Financial Market Minute. To explore the best performing mutual funds in the Bahamas, visit our website at www.rfgroup.com.
When Our News returns, plans underway to revitalize Family Island communities And the stage is set for a college basketball fest in Nassau. The details when our news returns.
Reliable home Wi-Fi makes life easier, but when your coverage is spotty, it's frustrating. In some cases, your service may not be the issue. Here are 3 things to consider when dealing with spotty Wi-Fi. 1. The age of your device. If you're having trouble keeping devices connected, or if they're running slowly, it could be time for an upgrade. Older devices can slow down your network. To get the best out of your speeds, keep your devices and software up to date. 2. Your gateway settings. Your Rev modem or device broadcasts 2 signals, one at 2.4 GHz, which provides the most coverage, and one at 5 GHz, which delivers faster speeds. Choose the best connection to get the full benefit of both signals to reduce connectivity issues. 3. The size and construction of your home. If your home is large or has concrete walls, it could be affecting your Wi-Fi. If that's the case, an Eero Wi-Fi mesh from Rev may help extend your Wi-Fi signal throughout your home and eliminate some of the dead spots. At Rev, we aim to keep you connected to the things you love most. Rev, you and us, together.
This is our news. Welcome back. Minister of Economic Affairs Michael Halkitis outlining the government's plan to revitalize Family Island communities while delivering the keynote address at Long Island Business Outlook today. He says the Davis administration's efforts to ease the cost of doing business and improve the quality of life for Bahamians started with the reduction of value-added tax and the country's participation in the UN Climate Change Summit in Glasgow.
In the Bahamas have increased from 61% of GDP in 2018-2019 to over 100% currently. This has had a negative impact on our credit rating and the nation's sovereign debt rating. And what this means simply is that our borrowing costs have increased, and this unfortunately diverts government funds from other programs that are very, very important to servicing of the debt.
He added the government is moving to diversify the economy using the lessons learned from the COVID-19 pandemic.
To modernize the fishing industry, we intend to use the ocean sciences to drive local innovation. Marine biotechnology, aquaculture, and deep sea exploration will be crucial to advancing the development of our blue economy. We recognize the potential of our fisheries industry, which has the ability to become a major wealth generator as well as a source of job creation. We stand ready to support Bahamian fishermen.
Plans are also underway to boost the fishing and cultural industries by reducing certain taxes for Bahamian artists.
Cultural celebrations that are unique to the Bahamas should not happen once or twice a year. In our plans, we have included the creation of a 52-week calendar of creative and cultural events with major world-class events every quarter for year-round opportunities. Procedures to market Bahamian culture as the main tourism product with cultural ambassadors to promote the Bahamas worldwide are already in motion. And we are looking closely at ways to support Bahamian creatives by reducing taxes on supplies vital to their work.
Well, Buddy Hield and the Kings continue to struggle. Marcellus Hall has that and more tonight in sports.
Thanks a lot. Welcome to our sports, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall. Buddy Hield and the Sacramento Kings, they've had a bit of an up and down season thus far. Last night, there was more down than up as they ran into a juggernaut called the San Antonio Spurs. Buddy Hield, Sacramento Kings, taking their show on the road to face the San Antonio Spurs. Spurs not being gracious hosts at all. They reined in 18 three-pointers on their way to a blowout victory over the Kings, 136-117. Buddy played 34 minutes, finished up with 12 points, 2 assists, and 1 rebound. Kings back in action tomorrow night when they take on the OKC Thunder. Still with hoops, the Bahamas Championship set for this month. The Nassau Championship will be the first on the schedule, and it will run from November 22nd through the 24th. That'll be followed by the Pink Flamingo Championship, which is a ladies tournament, from the 25th through the 27th, and then the Bahamas Championship, which will also run from the same time, 25th to the 27th there. Chief Organizer Jeff Rogers, pretty excited about what's to come.
I'm excited. I'm really, really excited. Thank God for the opportunity to work with the name of the tournament is Bahama Hoops. It's a top Division I basketball tournament where it's going to attract some of the big schools from all the United States. And it's just an exciting time for me to be a part of such a major initiative. You know, you're familiar with Battle for Atlantis? Well, you could put this in the same category. So it's a huge tournament, and we're really encouraging folks to come out to experience some first-class basketball.
And there it is, a check on sports for you here on this Thursday. Full details on tonight's Thursday night football action coming up for you tomorrow. Until then, I'll see you next time. Back to you.
Thanks, Marcellus. Up next, Greg is back with a look at weekend weather. Stay with us.
Reliable home Wi-Fi makes life easier, but when your coverage is spotty, it's frustrating. In some cases, your service may not be the issue. Here are 3 things to consider when dealing with spotty Wi-Fi. 1. The age of your device. If you're having trouble keeping devices connected, or if they're running slowly, it could be time for an upgrade. Older devices can slow down your network. To get the best out of your speeds, keep your devices and software up to date. 2. Your gateway settings. Your Rev modem or device broadcasts 2 signals, one at 2.4 GHz, which provides the most coverage, and one at 5 GHz, which delivers faster speeds. Choose the best connection to get the full benefit of both signals to reduce connectivity issues. 3. The size and construction of your home. If your home is large or has concrete walls, it could be affecting your Wi-Fi. If that's the case, an Eero Wi-Fi mesh from Rev may help extend your Wi-Fi signal throughout your home and eliminate some of the dead spots. At Rev, we aim to keep you connected to the things you love most. Rev, you and us, together.
Welcome back to our news. It will be mostly cloudy with some showers. Greg is back with the details.
Thanks again, Christina, and welcome back, everybody, for your second look at weather. A lot of tropical moisture coming out of the Caribbean across Cuba and into the Bahamas, keeping our weather unsettled. So we had mostly cloudy skies all day today with some showers. Some of those showers were heavy. Thunderstorms also occurring, so we had some severe thunderstorm warnings posted for a couple of the islands. That will continue through tonight and into tomorrow as we are approaching another frontal boundary. Well, another frontal boundary is approaching us. Should get near by late tomorrow and into Saturday, so we're looking for some more unsettled weather across our area through that period before things clear up. High pressure will build behind, and we should see some nice weather beginning the early part of next week. Tropics, of course, that one system out there in the open Atlantic racing towards the north and east. That's about a 10% chance for formation, but it's going to quickly die off. The remainder of the tropics quiet at this time. A look at our boating forecast for the northwest Bahamas tonight through tomorrow. Your winds would be out of the southeast to south at 10 to 15 knot seas, 2 to 4 feet, but up to 6 feet in some swells. Those lingering swells still out there. Caution flag for all areas. The central and southeast, east to southeast winds a little stronger, 15 knots, 3 to 6 feet. Tide will be low at 7:53 tonight. Here's a look now at your national forecast. A look now at your extended forecast through Tuesday. We'll have to get through these showers through tomorrow and into Saturday before things clear up. Back to you, Christina.
Thanks, Greg, and thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Christina Dragovich. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Stay tuned for a brand new episode of Jerome Sawyer's On the Record.